So next up we have this L8 Dukoff. I have it on this box here like this so you can see that this mouthpiece is slightly bent to the left. This is kind of one of those notorious things with Dukoff mouthpieces. And all the years I've been playing Dukoffs, I've never seen one that just had like superior craftsmanship. Ultimately, I just wound up not really playing this mouthpiece, but now I'm doing like a whole new review with a new way of approaching playing. So I want to see what this thing is all about all over again. You can see we have L8 right here, and you can see that these rails, I would call these relatively wide, and this inner triangle here, you can see how aggressive that is. It's not quite as aggressive as the other ones as far as how sharp this angle is, showing you how open and what the inside baffle looks like. If I hold this just right in the light, you can see that there's a bit of a forehead that's right here. This mouthpiece, I've had it for quite a long time. It's very rounded in this area. Get some light to reflect off of there. Yeah, that looks really good. It's like a little wedge that's right there. You can see that like right here. I wonder how that's going to affect the sound. I'll let you know when I play through this. Alright, let's take a look from the back. You can see this mouthpiece has been through the ringer a bit right here. I'll let you know if that affects the sound. If I don't say anything, then I'm probably much more concerned with other attributes of the mouthpiece. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, our L8 Dukoff. Okay, what's up everybody? On my first inspection, there were certain things that I just kind of missed with some defects with both of these Dukoff mouthpieces. But since I'm doing the L8 right now, I'll just point some of these out because this one has more issues than any mouthpiece I've ever seen, ever. You can see that this mouthpiece is slightly bent to the left. And even when you're looking down through the chamber, you can see that it's like that. Another thing is, if you get a close look at these rails, you can see that on the left side, it's a little bit thinner than on the right side. And then it gets kind of crooked, like right up in this area. It's more crooked on this side than it is on the other side. I talked about that wedge that's right in the middle there, and I think that's probably deliberate. Some mouthpiece makers were experimenting with certain things. Through the back, you can see how there's these scratches that are in the mouthpiece. That's probably another deliberate thing that was done. I know that Cannonball, they deliberately scratch up their necks on the inside. I think it is supposed to simulate the effect that dimples have in a golf ball, allowing for less drag and less air resistance when it's flowing through the mouthpiece. But one of the big things I talked about is this chin area, this little rounded area here. Since I talk about faces and facings and whatnot and foreheads, I'm going to call this a chin. And it's round here, but hopefully I can get this in the light just right. You can see on this side, it's thicker than it is on this side, how it goes all thin. Like why this left side of the mouthpiece is so much different from the right side. It's just awful craftsmanship. Another thing, and probably the most disturbing thing, is I talked about this inner triangle here. How you can see, I don't know if it'll show up that well here, but it is actually slightly concave on the inside from where the rail goes in. So you can see this. Let me use this as a pointer. You can see how this inner triangle part here from this tip, or from the rail here inside, it's a little bit concave, similar to the Auto Link without an inside rail. So it's mostly kind of flat with some curvature, with a concave type of curvature. But then if you look on this side, you can see that there's like an inner rail that's here. It's like a wedge. Like, why is this side different from the other side? You can even see how it almost casts a shadow on the inside. This part right here, like, I don't know what's going on with that. Just show you this from the back. I've played through this. Obviously this little ding here is a bit negligible, but even still, it's the way this thing came off the factory is just unbelievable. However, I didn't get it new. This is not a new Dukoff mouthpiece. It's not a vintage mouthpiece. It's just an old Dukoff that I've had for close to 20 years. But I just wanted to point out some of these defects with this mouthpiece so you could see it. And if you run into one that's like this, my advice to you is play it before you judge it, because after having played it, and you'll get to hear that, but it's, well, I'll save it as a surprise. All right, so let's move on. This kind of dies in the Altissimo, but it's still better than the Mantra, at least Altissimo wise. I would have never in 100 million years ever thought a mouthpiece with this bad a craftsmanship would play as well as it does.